Joining us now, Dane Maxwell, Southern District Commissioner for the Mississippi Public Service Commission. Commissioner, good to see you, sir.
Good to see you.
All right, we wanted to have you on first to get just an update. Well, I don't think we've talked to you since the legislature has sine-died. Anything in particular that came out of Mississippi State Capitol that affected your world?
Yeah, we actually had a great session this year. As the PSC is concerned, we had a bill that moved us out of the robocall telemarketer side and moved it over to the Attorney General side, which was really a good thing for Mississippians because it really wasn't supposed to be in our wheelhouse. We didn't have the authority over them. And so this moves it over to her office where she has the authority to go after them, fine them, and arrest them. And that's what we've been needing. We worked on that, and we were successful in getting that done. And I think it's going to be a great thing for us to effectively fight the robocalls and telemarketers.
Gotcha. What about the progress on rolling out rural broadband? I know that touches you guys a little bit. Of course, Sally Doty that runs the Beam organization is probably more entrenched in that effort. Anything you can report from the Public Service Commission on that?
Well, it's still moving ahead, and I still think that we are doing a lot of good work on that end as far as expanding to residents that have no service or low service, a little bit of service. Yeah. It actually, once the Beam office started, and that's what Sally runs, it took it completely away from the PSC too. So okay. I keep up with it occasionally because Sally and I are friends and we talk, but it really doesn't touch us at all anymore. So, but
gotcha.
We had a big role in the beginning of it, putting out nearly $1 billion into the economy here with the co-ops and moving those guys into that arena. And I can tell you that they are doing very well. They are doing very, very well. We've got more fiber being laid in Mississippi than ever in our history.
Yeah, just driving around when I'm traveling to the remote sites, sometimes on kind of the rural back roads, you see it. I mean, you see the trenching going on. You see the big orange conduit that is used to house the fiber. Yeah, so you see it going on, construction underway.
It's exciting, and you wouldn't believe how many hunting camps I've had people call me and tell me we have internet at our hunting camp.
That's a big deal in Mississippi.
Rural Mississippi.
That's right. That's a big deal in Mississippi for sure. I wanted to ask you about some of this crazy federal policy that's coming out of the Biden administration and how that might be impacting the Public Service Commission, your work, your procedures, your policies, et cetera, your regulatory efforts. But these Green New Deal credits, as I like to call them, are you guys involved in this in any way? Are you involved in the administration, in the tracking of that, measuring of any of that?
Oh, obviously we follow it, and I just have a hard time even talking about this because they're just doing everything they can to kill coal. And I'm a big diversity guy, right? So I believe we should invest in all kinds of energy, and I, even though I don't believe technology is where we need it to be in order to go full solar, the battery has to catch up with that solar panel. And I don't think it's affordable, but I will support any kind of renewable energy as long as it doesn't fall back on the ratepayers paying for it. If you want solar, get solar. But right. I don't think we should have the other ratepayers paying for it. And on top of that, in our work that we do, we're really focusing, or at least my office is really focusing on working with those who build these small nuclear reactors, I think
Right.
Mississippi needs to jump on that as soon as we can because it's clean and it's affordable and it's reliable. And
Are
so
you?
we are following this. I mean, we uh, monitor those things and stuff, but really, his efforts to kill this coal is going to end up hitting the ratepayers in the pocket. And, we can't control the cost of energy.
Right.
All we can do is it's like your grocery bill. When your grocery bill goes up, they are going to drive us into the ground if we don't change administrations.
And natural gas as well, right? Because within the last couple of weeks, they're proposing all sorts of new rules affecting power plants, and a good number of the power plants in this country derive their source from natural gas. Is that not correct?
That's right. This Clean Power Plan 2.0, and it's all it is the left's wish list. It's the Green New
Yeah.
Deal, and they're going to cost those power plants an enormous amount of money, like they did last time they were in power, putting scrubbers on those units. It
Right.
costs money to do that, and those power companies, they get their resources, they get their funding from the ratepayers, and so that's ultimately who will pay it. I'm gonna fight it. I'm gonna fight everything I can about it.
Yeah.
But he carries a big stick in being in the Fed side, and so some of those things we just get shoved down on us and mandated, and we have to live with them.
Yeah. Well, it's a concern when I read the various analysis of that. That's exactly what reporters and analysts in the energy industry said, is that this would impose an enormous cost on the electricity producing industry, utility industry, and they would in fact pass that on to ratepayers to absorb it, to fund it. It's already gone through the roof.
And the thing about it is they want to, but he wants the federal government, for example, to go carbon free by 2030. And I want the listeners to clearly understand this. That is never going to happen. It will not happen in our lifetime. It's all just a bunch of fodder and talk just to give them billions of dollars. They're actually doing a study now to how they can do electric vehicles for the military.
Yeah.
Now, how are you going to electrify M1 A1 tank? You're just not going to do that. And the idea of taking the United States of America to carbon free will never happen in our lifetime. And it's ridiculous to think that every other country is going to do the same thing. It's
Right.
not going to happen.
Yeah, Jennifer Granholm, Secretary of the Energy, testified on the Hill just yesterday or day before yesterday, saying, yeah, I envision an all-electric military by 2030. 2030.
Yeah.
It's insane in my view. I know you've got a lot of experience in presidential politics, worked on the Trump campaign in 2016. What do you think? Going into 24, what do you see?
Well, I worked for President Trump in 2016 and in 2020, and poll numbers don't lie. I mean, right now Biden's upside down big time. The thing about that is, people get tired of hearing Trump say this or say that, but at the end of the day, he's the only one willing to stand up and take a hard fight and go through what that is, what he has to do to win for us. Every one of his policies, you can't argue. And I'm friends with him. I work with him. I traveled with him. I'm just going to support him, and I think most of Mississippians will too. His popularity rating here is out the roof. But he's still leading nationally, so we'll have to see. But regardless, whoever the Republican nominee is I'm going to support them.
Yeah, absolutely. And I checked the Real Clear Politics poll, of course, which is an average of a number of polls, and it shows Trump and DeSantis, assuming DeSantis jumps in the race, leading Biden in a hypothetical matchup by just under 2%. each of them lead Biden by about 2%. So I'm sure that's going to drive both of them as we approach the election here. Dane, Commissioner, always good to talk to you, sir. Appreciate you coming on and sharing your insight. We'll talk soon.
Thank you.
We're coming right back in the Element Well studios. Rachel Culver, contributor to the College Fix at 11:05.